Yeah, we're professionals, right? And so we don't want to prematurely advocate.
Welcome back, all my followers, and I'm delighted to have Luigi with me again. G'day, Luigi.
G'day, John.
Hey, look, last time we had a discussion, I actually raised the subject, but I get a call often from my clients saying, hey, some of my people have a closing problem. They're not closing properly. And typically I look at it as something different.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know you use the term quite a lot, opening's the new closing.
Yep.
I'd like to explore that a little bit.
Yeah, I think, when we think about closing, we think about we've taken an opportunity to a point, it's gone through all those different gates, and we've qualified, there's a need, there's priority, we're talking to the right people, and we've got permission to ask for the sale, right? However, the reason why I say, openings and new closing, because A, we don't have enough in our pipeline, which is impacting the way we behave with our pipeline and forcing things through. But B, we're not putting enough consideration into our ideal client profiles.
Right.
So, there seems to be, we're missing a little bit of the basics when it comes to who is our target customer. Are we aligned? Because if we spray and hope and just talk to everyone, then we're going to have people in the pipeline that are just not meeting our needs, or we might not be meeting their needs.
And we're wasting their time and our time.
Correct. So I'd rather be really clear about the type of opportunities we engage with. And Tony Hughes talks about this a lot, getting that value narrative right at the start, so we get the right customers in the pipeline that we can help them. And often we think about we need to qualify the opportunity, but sometimes we've got to think about the other things that are important. Do we share the right values as organizations? Are they going to be a client that are going to benefit us as well, because it's a partnership?
Absolutely. To me, that's a key part of qualification.
Absolutely, right. Yeah. And, BANT's been thrown around a lot, and I kind of think, BANT has evolved over time, but I'm a big believer that in order for us to have a successful pipeline and get customers to that point of decision, we need to be clear about the clients we're bringing in. And so you've got the prospecting stage, and then you've actually got making sure you've got enough within each stage of the pipeline that we're not having to force customers through.
So define what you mean by opening then. You're saying it's having the right clients, understanding that they are the right clients, doing your homework on that, make sure that our values and cultures collide, so we do know in the end we'll be able to work together.
Absolutely.
But what about the other adage of our sales process and doing the right thing early in the sales process?
Yeah, I think, when we think about that first meeting, that initial meeting, we love to hear there's a problem as salespeople, because the minute we hear there's a problem, what do? We pounce, right? We get excited, and it's like, great, I've got something to sell you. The problem with that is if we go in too early, is we prohibit our ability to truly understand the entire opportunity. And so being disciplined to say, I'm hearing what you say, confirming our understanding, and then finding more information.
What's the impact of that? Correct. All those sort of right questions.
Tell us about how that impacts your customer, and what about the other departments, and historically when the business has made certain decisions, how has that impacted the business? Because we know that historical decisions impact future decisions. And a lot of us talk about current state when really the opportunity is in the future state. And knowing how they've made decisions in the past. But because of our need, because of, it's a great thing, we're excited, we want to take the opportunity further, is we miss the gold that's sitting right in front of us. And so from my perspective, it's about being disciplined to say, I need to follow the process.
I recently had a discussion with Paul Watts in Canada, and he talks a lot about consultative selling, and this is what it's all about. You're actually in a frame of consulting with the customer, not bringing a product to the table and putting that on the table and trying to sell it. You're actually helping the customer through a thinking process, really getting the customer open the kimono. A friend of mine, Wayne Maloney, also talks about the fact that a lot of customers are sitting there thinking, we use the word discovery, and some people use the word discovery. Let me come in and do a discovery, and the clients, really the ones that know what they're doing, will come back at you and say, well, hang on a second, it's not your discovery, it's my discovery. Absolutely. Come and help me do my discovery. And so that's what we're talking about, right?
Absolutely. And that's why it's about knowing, okay, I've got my process. So we've got a process that we need to follow. For the customer, but also for us.
And we need to align that to the buying journey that the customer's going through. Otherwise, we'll be in conflict.
Yeah, and working together with them. So when I say openings and new closing, it's about being clear on who we talk to, having enough of those conversations happening. We are single point sensitive. A lot of salespeople are relying on one channel to get their leads, and so that's impacting middle and end. And then we're not doing enough discovery, so that's impacting that when we get a client to the point. We think, I've got to close that. I've just skipped a key component. And if I skip that key component of discovery, what am I doing? I'm trying to sell a feature and benefit. I'm sort of Jeb Blunt, I'm throwing up on the customer. I'm not actually adding any value. I'm not living the values of a sales professional.
The sort of things we discussed in our first discussion, the mindset. That mindset, right? It's all about being customer-centric and helping the customer. Absolutely. It's not about us getting an order.
Yeah, we're professionals, right? And so we can't advocate. We don't want to prematurely advocate.
Okay. So let's summarise openings and new closing, and by that we mean we're talking to the right customers, the customers that actually we will be able to do business with, and we've been able to work that one through and understand what that means. And secondly, when we do start having conversations, it is a consultative conversation. We are helping them through a discovery process, and ultimately we need to understand their business in depth. Get down it, as another friend of mine, Bill Carson, talks about, get down dirty in the hole with them, really understand all the issues and challenges they're facing and ask all the right questions, the impact of those. And only when you're there, then you can start taking the customer on a thinking journey to a new way of thinking in the way they can run their business to get an outcome, and then look at what the value of that is. That's what we're talking about. That whole process.
Yeah.
Not about getting in, finding a problem, here's the solution, and trying to put a proposal and close it.
It's a holistic process, right?
Openings and new closing. Love it. Thanks, Luigi.
Thanks, John.